So, I am going to talk a little bit about what happens during the last stages of birth. So, one of the biggest things, this is my daughter's Ariel doll, so she's going to help us today. But one of the biggest questions that people have is, well, when we get to this point in labor, do we keep pushing or do we wait for contractions, or what happens exactly after the baby is coming down, crowning, and then their head is out? What happens after that moment? So we've got our pelvis here. So pelvis is very flexible, okay? So it's not like as flexible as this cloth, but your pelvis moves. So as your baby is descending, your sacrum and tailbone flatten because there is truly like nowhere else for it to go. So say you're on your hands and knees, this tailbone would flatten, and we can see that like it's almost like you don't have a butt near the end of labor because everything is round. So baby is right here is about where baby is engaged. Okay, baby comes down. Normally at this point, babies are kind of rotated. Okay, they rotate as they're coming out, and now we have their head out. Okay, so normally babies, like in the majority of babies, they come out. So this is mom's back. They come out looking at mom's back. Okay, when normally right after this happens, their head rotates, okay, about 45 degrees, not full 90, just in between, okay? So when this happens, the baby is taking a break. So your pelvis is really open at this point, and this baby is taking a break until the next contraction. Now, the scariest part about the weight after a baby's head is out is we can't see what's going on. So this is all skin. This is the mom. We can see the baby's head, but we can't see their pelvis. We can't see what all is happening with this baby internally. We can be checking for heart tones. It's a little harder to do as this baby is almost out. We can be looking at the color and tone and everything else of this baby. And most of the babies that I've seen at this point are making faces. Like they're squidging their face and they're opening their eyes and just doing lots of other things. And then being in this compression in your pelvis is also helping to expel some fluid. So there are some really cool pictures of that if you needed to see. But at this point, your baby is waiting. So your baby is an active participant in this entire experience. If you watch breech birth videos, you can see what a baby does to get out. But in a vertex birth, in a head down birth, it's harder to see because everything is hidden. But the uterus is contracting down, which helps give the baby momentum. Okay, so after the baby's head is out and they restitute, there's a break. And you kind of feel, it feels really good to have a head out, like, oh, something is happening. This is awesome. So for the majority of babies, if they are not having any other issues, like arms behind their back or possible shoulder dystocia where their shoulders are stuck or anything else, at this point, this baby rotates the rest of the 45 degrees, okay? This isn't the best baby doll for this. So this baby rotates, okay? And when it's doing that, you can kind of see it's getting its shoulders. So it's at the biggest diameter here, which is this, and it's getting their shoulders into the pelvis past this bony part right here. Most shoulder dystocias happen because baby's anterior shoulder, their front shoulder, is stuck on that bony thing. So shoulder dystocia is not like because you don't have room or anything else. It's a bone on bone issue. So their shoulder is stuck on this bone. So when they rotate, it gets that shoulder past that bony things, and then they rotate, and as they rotate, they come out. So again, this isn't the best baby doll for this, but it works. So their rotation, their everything else is what brings them out. They are an active participant in this. And if they don't have the room to rotate, their head may simply just restitute and turn, or nothing may happen. So you have this baby, head comes out, nothing happens. So you're like, okay. So that could just mean that we're not getting a contraction yet. It could mean a lot of things. If you get a contraction and that baby's head doesn't turn or doesn't even restitute or rotate, then there are like possibly just some space issues, or they don't have enough room to turn, or things like that. And that's why when you are getting to these points, that's why your legs and being mobile and everything else is so important in this last phase. So say you're laying flat on your back and this baby didn't turn, nothing is happening, like everything's kind of squished. So, and you don't have the maneuverability that you would if you were on your hands and knees. This baby falls out, apparently. This baby is here, but you can lift a leg, which, say this one. So when you lift a leg, you're giving that baby more room, and being in like a runner's lunge, but knowing that when a baby's head comes out, normally there is a bit of time before the rest of this baby comes out, and knowing what they're trying to do, knowing what you possibly might be feeling in your pelvis is so important, because this baby truly understands what is happening in this process. Like, they're not scared. They have a lot of hormones also coursing through their body, but they know how to get through a pelvis when everything is optimal. And so knowing that this baby comes out, turns its head, and then waits for a contraction, rotates its shoulders, and then comes out, that is going to be the best part of all of this birth. You're going to have that release, but you're also going to know that nothing is wrong, and it's okay to wait just a minute. Like, it's not like your contractions are going to be really spaced apart in the end of this phase. Your baby's head's going to come out, and then you're going to have a minute break, and then it's going to feel good, and your baby is fine. And as long as the color and tone and everything else of your baby's head is good, there is no problem waiting for that next contraction to see if your baby's going to rotate and their shoulders are going to come out. So there is a very big difference between a baby that just needs a tincture of time and a baby that truly has an issue. And there are lots of different signs for each of them, but monitoring the baby's well-being, monitoring mom's well-being, and seeing what she's feeling could help with a lot of not necessarily traumatized parents and babies, but definitely help with the communication and the empowerment that happens with these births, knowing that babies sometimes just need a little bit of extra room to finish the maneuvers that they know how to do.